This whole time?
This whole fucking time.
Dude, we just talked about so many cool things.
This whole fucking time we've been talking about God and it hadn't been fucking recording.
They hate this.
Dude,
The Gremlins. We should change the name from Lots Full to Lots Full, No Gremlins Allowed.
dude, what the fuck? Where did it even stop recording? Was it when
I don't think you even started it now that I'm
I,
thinking
I
about it.
did, but
I don't
was
know
it?
if it went through.
Yeah,
Dang, this conversation was really rolling too.
damn it.
Anyway, to catch the audience up, talking about how awesome God is and how the devil wants to get some.
I mean, he can come and get some. Like,
Well, don't tempt him. He's
no,
just not.
but the way I look at it, I'm not looking for a fight, but if he wants to fight, I'll step into the fucking ring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm
Like,
pretty sure only one of us was made in God's image. Do you want some or what?
not only that, I know where my power comes from.
Yeah.
So,
She's so beautiful. I love my wife.
yeah.
Anyway.
Good godly marriage. I'm happy for you, bro.
Yeah, dude, dude, God wants her so bad.
But oh, that's what we were talking about. So, like I was saying, you
Yeah.
said you bought her this cross necklace.
Yeah.
I got this one at Walmart for $10.
Yeah.
Wore it everywhere. Got in the shower one day, took it off, put it on the sink counter. All right. As
Okay.
I'm washing my hair, I open my eyes. You can say it with soap in my eyes, whatever. I'm just paraphrasing now because I'm still
Yeah.
pissed off that wasn't fucking recording.
Yeah.
Uh, and this was back when me and Jackie were still married. But open my eyes and I see 5 or 6 shadows right outside the shadow curtain or the shower curtain. And
Yeah.
I just had this overwhelming sense of dread. Like, dude, you're in fucking danger. You know?
Yeah.
What the fuck? And so I rush out of the shower and start looking around. Nobody's there. Throw my necklace on because I thought I was the only one in the house. And I was going to go search the fucking house because somebody's in my fucking house, you know?
Yeah.
Throw the cross necklace on the second it fucking touched my chest, dude. Feeling went away.
So you're saying I need one?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a
I
very good
think I
thing.
want to get baptized soon. I
I
think I just
told
need
I told
to,
Randall, my brother-in-law, that story.
yeah.
He started talking about how he wanted one. I bought him one, dude.
Yeah.
Everything that was happening at his house instantly stopped.
Well, I've had pretty good time since I went ahead and anointed this house.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah. And
I ain't had nothing happen here since that shadow figure in the bathroom.
that was at this house.
Yeah, yeah, that was just a couple of weeks ago, dude. Did I not tell you about that?
I don't think so.
I woke up in the middle of the night and went and opened the bathroom door. Had
Yeah.
to piss. Opened the bathroom door, flipped the light on, and
Yeah.
for like a second or two, there was just
Yeah.
a shadow figure standing right there in the doorway.
Right.
And then it went away.
No, that's so obviously we didn't record it, but we're just talking about the Warner bathroom story. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
dude, get
sure
into that. Get into that. All
I'm
right.
pretty sure that is one how
You
you
got to
and I.
retell that whole story, though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm pretty sure one that's why that really opened the door to our friendship because I didn't talk about you don't just talk about
I mean,
ghosts.
we were pretty friendly there, but I didn't tell you about my past with the paranormal and stuff like that
Yeah, and
until
I
that.
hadn't told you because remember I told you about that rent house I lived at with the
No,
footsteps.
I do
Remember that?
not remember that. I remember you coming back into the truck and you
I was
being
like, "Do you
freaked
believe
out.
in ghosts?"
And I remember us discussing the paranormal, but I don't remember any specifics of the
Yeah.
conversation.
Well, I don't know if I told you about that rent house I lived in then. Well, we can talk about that too. But
Yeah, we're gonna have to get into all of that.
no, we were buddies because we bonded over Dragon Ball, and
Dragon Ball and Impractical Jokers.
lots full, and that was fun. But when we got back to Werner, I went to go to the terminal shower, and I remember being in there because I'm from Oklahoma. The whole state's an Indian
Fuck
burial ground.
Oklahoma.
Well, calm down.
I'm gonna alienate our whole Oklahoma audience right now. Fuck Oklahoma. All right,
Well, I'm an Okie at heart, and unless I'm
we
going for
gonna
my
fix that.
master's, uh, I'm going for my master's, and if I can't pick a Texas college, I will probably be a Sooner fan until I die. 'Cause that's my daddy's team, and that's my granddaddy's team, that's my great grandpa Deathridge's team.
Riff ram bazoo, motherfucker.
So you can, I don't know what kind of frog language you're talking, but anyway, we hadn't talked about paranormal, and I didn't know, and you didn't know that we both have a pretty wild past on
Yeah,
that.
because I didn't advertise that shit.
I didn't either. You don't just talk about that with people because they
Yeah,
think you're nuts because
exactly.
because they're chickens.
And see, when I did the whole ghost hunting thing, that was my thing. Was I
Yeah,
wanted to find hard physical evidence
yeah,
that nobody could dispute,
yeah.
and that would open up a spot to create like a safe space for people to come. And I fucking hate that term, safe space, for people to come
Safe
and
space.
share their experiences without being judged. You know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think in today's climate, people are pretty open. It's with the
For the
podcasting.
most part. For the most part.
But anyway, I guess I better get to the story. Our audience is
Yeah.
probably gonna like, not that we have one, but someday.
I mean, it's our show. We can do whatever the
Yeah.
fuck we want.
But I do think that really opened the door to like, oh, we're both weird dudes who have we're
Yeah.
into some weird stuff.
We're
Okay.
both autistic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I went while I was training with you. I went to the Warner shower, and
Keep
I
telling
didn't
the
know.
story. I'll be right back.
Yeah, and I remember you. I didn't know at the time that you knew that it had some haunty past. Your camera's just straight up moving, dude. That's wild. So I went to the shower, and then I had like a weird, said weird feelings. Like this isn't. I didn't feel alone, which is not fun feeling. It really sucks to not feel alone while you're in the shower.
Yeah.
If you're, you know. And I was like, all right, dude. And I was like, all right. So I got out, started doing my personal, combing and brushing my teeth and blah, blah, blah. And then the shower turned on and then turned back off. And I remember being like, okay, maybe that's just bad plumbing. That's kind of a lot for just a shower drain.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. And then I remember I had opened, I was going towards the door to grab my towel that was hanging up, and all of my shit just flew across the fucking bathroom.
See, I don't remember that part.
Yeah, like it wasn't all of it. It was, I think, my soap and something else fell. But like, and
Did you ever
it
tell Carissa about this?
probably, I don't remember. I don't know. I would. I just don't remember if I did or not. But
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not saying you would hide it from her. I was
and
just
at first I was like, okay, maybe I misplaced it and it slid off, because condensation can move stuff.
yeah.
But then I found my soap back at like in the shower, and I was like, and I found something else like under those benches that were in there.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to make my escape right meow. And I remember I was like probably ghost white, dude.
Yeah.
And I just remember getting in the truck and just kind of
No,
looking at
you're
you and
forgetting the part that I remember.
which part?
You forgot the key.
I had to go back for the key?
Yeah, I remember you telling me you had to go back for the key. Lights were off and everything, and as you walked up to the door, the key came flying out.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, that was 5 years ago. I don't.
Was it 5?
I think, well, 4. I got my
I
CDL.
couldn't remember when you were on the truck with me exactly, like what year. I know I came
Yeah.
to Tex Mix at 2021.
Okay, so I got my CDL in 20.
So it
So
was
it's
2020. I couldn't remember if it was
yeah.
2019 or 2020.
And okay, yeah. And I remember that happened vaguely, and then I got back to the truck, and I was just like, "Hey, man, do you believe in ghosts?" And you're like, "Yeah, there's some weird shit,
Bro.
you know." And that kind of opened Pandora's box to
I
a
remember
friendship.
we sat up. We were supposed to get up at like 5 o'clock the next morning, and we sat
Yeah,
up until 2 in the morning just talking about it.
yeah, I was trying not to shit my pants, is what I was
Fuck the
trying
10 hour reset at that point. Like
to
we
do.
we we got to have a talk, bro.
Yeah,
But I had never had anything happen there. I had been in those showers 100 times.
that might have been. Well, I do credit you to a lot of my coming to Jesus. You've been a
Yeah,
sounding board.
I
So
don't know
maybe,
about all that, but okay.
yeah, well, we're here now, you
Yeah,
know.
I mean,
And
to be fair, we didn't talk a whole lot for a while there. No
yeah,
particular reason other than we both had fucking lives.
yeah.
But
Then you got divorced and you have nothing but time. If you look at
yeah,
my Facebook notifications, it's nothing but you, and I'm like, oh God, how am I going to catch up to this?
yeah. So
Hang on, I'm
what's it
gonna go
called?
make me a drink. You talk to the camera.
Yeah. So like we went years, like never really lost contact, but we talked a little bit here and there, and you know we I just forgot where I was going with that. Like we stayed in contact, but you really came to Jesus on your own. Like the last time we really had a long conversation before your whole born again saga um, was still back in your BS days, as I call them, before salvation. And you just one day were like, "Hey, man, I'm looking into God. Like there's something pulling me to God." And that's really what opened up our biblical conversations, which typically get hijacked with portals and demons and cryptids, aliens, Nephilim, all of the weird shit that I look into. But I mean that's part of it. I truly believe that the Bible is meant to be taken literally. And if the Bible says that the sky was blue, then motherfucker, the sky was fucking blue. Okay? Don't question that. Like, yes, there's, you know, the parables that Jesus taught and all that, but other than that, like I really believe it was meant to be taken literally. But I don't know if you could hear any of that.
I caught some of it talking about the Bible. You take it literally. Sky's blue.
Yeah, so really what I was saying was in
God
that
loves the
time,
infantry.
yeah, you're biased.
Yeah. And I'm an
So
engineer. I don't even fucking like those guys, those blue cord dickheads.
they were always breaking shit for you to fix, huh?
Yeah, they're doing
I'm
something.
telling you, I need to get you to sit down with my dad and just talk Army stories because he was a mechanic.
Oh, yeah. I have a love hate relationship with mechanics. So does
Uh,
everyone else in the military.
what's it called? He's got plaques and shit for working on like the B-2 Spirit
Okay.
and the
Badass.
Patriot missile systems and stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
he did a lot of cool shit in the military. Like we've got home videos of me and my mom sitting there watching missile tests at White Sands.
Oh, that's cool. I love White Sands.
Yeah,
I've been there
but
once. Risa took me.
what I was saying was like we went a little bit without talking, and then when we really started talking again, you just one day randomly were like, "Hey, man, I've been looking into the Bible," and that was really the first time we talked religion.
Yeah. Well, it
So
took me a minute. I grew up, had a pretty rocky past. I'm sure we'll get into that someday too.
Well, what I'm
Um,
saying is I don't know how much I had to do with that because that all started when we weren't really talking a whole lot.
that was okay. That was during my first miscarriage. That was a whole
Yeah,
my
yeah.
my whole testimony. I guess I'm still in it. I
I
wanted
mean,
to.
this would be a good platform for you to share some of it. Just saying.
I probably can now,
I
because
wouldn't say now. Wait until we get a following.
yeah,
But
yeah. I just meant like now in my point in life,
yeah.
like when I first like what you're talking about
Hmm.
with the miscarriages. The miscarriage, kind of pushed me towards. It's a whole story of
And
why.
that's the funny thing. So Jackie, my dad didn't become a pastor until recently. Okay.
Yeah.
Jackie, her grandpa who raised her, has been a pastor her whole fucking life.
Hmm.
All right. Like he went as far as he's a bishop.
And what?
Uh,
And
forget
what denomination?
I forget what denomination he did it so that he could do military funerals because they would only allow bishops.
Okay.
Um, but like he went that far.
Yeah.
And when Jackie had the miscarriage, I can't speak for her because I don't know where she's at in her
Yeah.
walk. But the miscarriage for me, so when we found out she was pregnant, get ready for waterworks because they might fucking come. Because I haven't talked about this in years, and the last time I talked about it, there were waterworks. So get ready.
I've had three, so you
Yeah.
won't you won't have any judgment from me.
Oh, I know, I know. Um, we had names picked out. Okay,
You what?
we had names picked out. If it was a boy, you
Yeah.
know, David Michael. All right,
Okay.
David because that was my dad's middle name, and then Michael just because we like the fucking name Michael. Fuck you. All right.
Yeah.
And if it was a girl, the deal was Jackie got to name my son. All right. So the deal was the next one I get to name. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, okay. Let's see how well you know your friend here. All right. What's
Okay.
my favorite sport?
It'd be between NASCAR and football.
NASCAR.
Okay.
Football's third.
Okay.
Well, really tied for third, but okay. Um, favorite track in NASCAR is Bristol. Bristol Motor Speedway.
Okay.
So if it was a girl, I wanted her to be named Bristol.
Okay.
Jackie was like, okay, what's the middle name? I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Just as long as her first name is Bristol. Okay.
Yeah.
So me and Randall came home. This was when we were team driving. We came home to surprise my sister for my niece's birthday. Okay. We were
Okay.
able to swing it where we came home and just stayed for a day to be at the birthday party. Didn't tell anybody but my grandparents. All right. And the
Yeah.
only reason we told them was they had to pick us up from the truck. But while we were there, we announced to everybody that Jackie was pregnant.
Okay.
Okay. It was great. Loved it. All right.
Yeah.
Highs to highs. You know this. Okay.
Yeah.
A week later, I get a text while I'm in fucking Arkansas. And she says, I think I just miscarried.
Hmm.
And I'm like, well, me being the fucking autistic retard I am, I'm like, how did you know?
Yeah.
She's like, well, because I just went to the bathroom and there's all this bloody tissue.
Yeah.
Now, she wasn't that far along, maybe a month and a half, 2 months, you know.
Yeah.
But, what's it called? I came home 3 weeks later.
Mm.
And,
You didn't get to go see her right away.
no,
That
no.
must have sucked for both of y'all.
Yeah, yeah. Because I was in a truck training somebody
Hmm.
that I had just fucking met. Like, that's not somebody I can really confide in, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's at home by herself, tried to confide in her mom, and her mom was like, "Well, I doubt you were even pregnant in the first place."
I'm gonna give that lady one of these.
Yeah. So, so she didn't really have anybody to confide in. So we're both by ourselves dealing with it on our own. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that.
And I get home and she didn't even want to be close to me. Not because I did anything wrong. It's
No.
just a lot of memories and emotions.
Well, not that she should feel any kind of shame or embarrassment, but
It wasn't really shame or embarrassment. She was lost, you know?
yeah, she can feel whatever she wants to feel.
And she didn't know what to feel. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, she
What
was
can
sad, obviously, but beyond
it?
that, she didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I don't want to say something.
you always hear about it, but you don't
Yeah,
really understand it until it happens, you
right.
know? And then you're
And
like,
I was home for a week, okay?
yeah,
Because that's the way I ran. I ran 3 weeks on, 1 week off. All
yeah,
right. Second or third day I was home, I'd been praying a lot after I
yeah.
heard about the miscarriage. And this is great for audio.
Cool, man. Fuck them.
Uh, Second or third night I was home, I had a dream.
Yeah,
And the dream was I was at heaven's gates. And I wasn't greeted by St. Peter. I wasn't greeted by Jesus. I wasn't greeted by God. I was greeted by this little girl. And I'm talking to this little girl, and she's telling me, hey, you may have made mistakes here, made mistakes there, but at the end of the day, you always went back to God. You know, you never lost your faith. And I'm like, cool.
yeah.
And so I'm about to walk through the gates, and this little girl reaches out to shake my hand. I didn't even tell Jackie the details of this fucking story. And keep in mind, not in a weird way. This little girl was the most beautiful little girl I've ever seen. Okay, perfect. And she looked familiar the whole time. I was like, "You look fucking familiar," but I'd never seen her before. Which is weird because science says you cannot dream of any faces that you haven't seen in real life. I can
Yeah,
sit down with a police sketch artist right now and describe this little girl's face, and it's not anybody I've ever met.
yeah.
And so she reaches out to shake my hand, and I shake her hand, and she's like, "Why did you never ask me my name?" And I got to thinking about it, and I don't know why I said this, but in the dream I said, because I never gave you one. And she goes, "Yes, you did. My name's Bristol." And that's where I woke up. And that brought me closer to God, a lot closer, because that was in my head God's way of telling me, she's waiting for you. She's there. So yes, I may not have a little girl sitting right here next to me for me to bring up in this world and raise,
Yeah.
but someday I'm going to. But
So that
that
hurts.
brought me closer to God. The whole miscarriage thing did the opposite for Jackie. Like, I told her about that dream the next day. And I told her I've been praying, and I was like, look, I know you're struggling. Maybe praying would help. And she made the comment to me, why would I do that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, so I get it. Like, I do. Man, we're
No,
getting
yeah.
fucking heavy right off the bat.
Our first miscarriage, it kind of made me, well, our first, I'll tell you since you shared that. Go ahead and drink, man. Take a,
Yeah, no, go ahead, dude. I'm good. I'm good.
our first,
I've had years to
see,
I've had years to deal with this, dude.
our first pregnancy, man, took us a year. And they don't
Yeah,
tell you that. They don't tell you that either. Like, it might not be right away.
yeah,
You get told that when you're a teenager, like wear protection, be safe because you'll get pregnant, and it's like you might not.
yeah.
And I got checked. My stuff was good. Carissa got checked. She was good. We found out later she does have a thyroid issue, but we finally got pregnant, man, and it was wait's over, you know. And then we didn't make it out the first trimester, but I knew in my like I've never been more sure of anything in my life, of something that you can't be sure of, you know. We just knew it was going to be a girl, you know.
Huh.
Uh, we don't have her,
Yeah.
but we named her. We called her Sweet Pea
Uh-huh.
because we had this tracking app that says the size, you know,
Yeah.
your baby, and I don't remember if Sweet Pea was the stopping point or the end point. But we have Christmas ornaments, and every year my wife will get each one of us an ornament to symbolize what we did that year. You know, like my 2020, I have a truck because I got my CDL.
Right.
And has like a gi because he did jujitsu that year. That's when he started. And that year, Carissa got her one as a sweet pea. And every Christmas, it fucking hurts to pull that one out. But you know,
You got to though, dude. Like,
yeah, yeah. It's
like I was saying, she might not be there, but at the end of the day, you do have her.
no, yeah. I saw this post. This lady, I cried, dude. I read that. It fucked me up.
Yeah.
She put, "When I die, bury me in shorts and tennis shoes, because I have a play date waiting for me." And so, dude, that I have three.
Yeah. You gonna have your hands full.
Then I
You
better
think you
start.
got it wild up here? Wait till you get up there with three little ones.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
That kind of pushed me towards God too, because I just call it just delusion, denial. I was like, dude, no, I
Do
can't
you
give
think
up.
that's a guy thing?
What?
Like, so you have the experience the miscarriage pushed you closer to God. I have the experience where the miscarriage pushed me closer to God.
Yeah.
The miscarriage pushed your wife away from God. The miscarriage did the same thing for Jackie. Do you think
Well,
it's a difference between man and woman?
I don't know because, and there's some factors at play. So I had an older brother.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my parents, they just had a oopsie, got my mom pregnant, and my dad
Yeah.
did the right thing and married her, and you know.
Yeah.
But my dad was raised Jehovah's Witness, so by that time he's like, screw religion.
He was raised in a cult.
Yeah, 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 and he will tell you that, you
Yeah.
know.
Hey,
So
ask him how he feels about the Smurfs.
yeah, he does not appreciate the Jehovah Witness
Yeah.
outlook on life,
Yeah.
and so he's straight up atheist because of this, really. Well, my mom was raised in the church, and I think it kind of, I don't know if it made her go either way. I think she probably sought God for comfort, but I don't know if it pushed her one way or the other. But my dad was, when my brother, so my mom fell down the stairs when my brother was, she was 6 months pregnant.
Yeah.
So he was born stillborn. His whole top of his head was just bruised. It was tragic. And she went into early labor because of it. And my dad was there, and someone, it might have been from Jehovah's Witness, might have been just a pastor that was at the hospital, could have been a priest, who knows. And he said, "Don't worry, your baby is in a better place."
Yeah.
And my dad he went the opposite. He was like, "Fuck you. What kind of God would take my baby?" So he's always that's why I talked about my dad, and I was like, maybe, because I'm becoming a believer, but I wasn't raised. My dad didn't care.
Yeah.
He said, "You believe whatever you want. I'm not going to force you either way."
And
You know,
I can't blame anybody that went through a miscarriage for feeling that way.
I
You
can't
know?
believe anybody. If you lose a child,
Yeah.
I can no longer blame you for any of your actions in that, because I think that's temporary. If there's ever a reason for
Yeah.
temporary insanity, that's it. Did I tell you about Ellie though?
No.
Daughter?
No.
They tried to get us to abort her. Did I tell you
Really?
that? Yeah.
See, when Jackie was pregnant with Wyatt, we researched pregnancy clinics,
Yeah.
and we went to one that specifically would not, under any circumstances, recommend abortion.
Well, I guess I wouldn't say abortion a DNC. Do you know what I mean? Uh,
DNC. Forgive my stupidity. What the fuck is a DNC? Because I'm thinking
it's
Democratic.
essentially, you know, for the life of me, I can't remember what it stands for, but it's an abortion for,
Yeah.
I guess not. I don't know if I don't want to mix words here, but it's like, hey, if you're miscarrying and the baby's already, not viable,
Mm-hmm.
take this medication and it'll go ahead and do the rest. So you don't
Yeah.
become septic, you know. Um, we'll have to Google it. I can't remember what it stands for because I don't want to know. I
Let
don't
me
want to
let me look it up. I won't tell you because you don't want to know, but I'll look
know.
it
No,
up.
no, go ahead. I don't. No, go ahead. Tell me. I just meant I'm not looking it up because I don't. I don't want it. I'll tell you about my daughter though and how that motherfucker tried to get me to kill my baby. Thank
Oh,
God.
this is fucked, dude.
Uh,
You're right. It is a fucking abortion, but the
okay.
way they describe it is fucked, dude.
Well, I don't want to make it seem like I'm just gonna kill my baby now. It's like the baby wasn't gonna make it.
Oh, based on this description, that's what the fuck you're doing, dude.
Well, I mean, the way it was prescribed to us was you're already, and she had it with the first two. We had two before my daughter, and they were like, "Hey, take take these home. You're prescribed them. Don't take them if you don't want, but
Oh, that pisses me off. Sorry. Fuck.
it might be a
I shouldn't have
loophole.
looked, I shouldn't have looked it up.
I mean, you can tell me. Go ahead. I don't care.
Basically, they uh, dilate the mother
Yeah.
so that they can get in there, and then they reach in with tools and rip the baby apart and scrape it out.
Well, that might be what abortion is, but the
No,
pills are
that's the definition for DNC.
well for our case that wouldn't have been.
Yeah,
That's not what they would have done unless they needed to.
yeah,
Like the babies were already, it's not viable. The
yeah.
baby's gone. But
But they're in that description. They were like they wouldn't say the word baby. It was
yeah,
all tissue.
yeah, because they're evil,
What the fuck,
and
dude?
yeah, it doesn't look. It's bad branding to use
Yeah,
baby.
yeah, yeah. Fuck
But
you, Planned Parenthood.
we can probably have an episode on all that too. But
We do. We need to. We need to.
but
Because
so
I could
anyway,
get into the history. I'll have to pull up all the dates and everything. But we
Yeah.
can get into the fucking history and explain how that is a racist.
You don't have to explain to me nothing. I have looked at it.
Oh, I
This
know. I know I
Planned
don't have to
Parenthood
explain it
started
to
to
you.
kill black children.
I know we don't have to explain it to you, but let's explain it to the world, dude. We need to
Yeah.
out that shit.
Yeah. Planned Parenthood only became a thing because they wanted to kill black children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
The founder
indigenous.
was a massive fucking racist.
Yeah. Anyway, but we shouldn't be drinking and doing these if we want to be professional because we're just gonna go off on tangents here. But so
It's our podcast. We can do
we had
whatever the hell we
already,
want.
yeah, we can do whatever we want. Fuck them. You ain't paying me. You can't tell me what to do. But so
If
we'd
they
already
don't like you don't like the show, don't watch the show.
don't watch the show, man. This is America, baby. USA, USA. No, but anyway, so we had already had two miscarriages.
Yeah.
Got pregnant with my daughter, and sometimes there's bleeding, and there's nothing wrong, you know.
Yeah.
But if you
The hell. Hang on. Time out. No audio. No audio. There it is. There it
that's
is.
because I floss, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Okay.
you hear me now?
Yeah. Continue.
If you lose two, and I have
And we're still recording, so.
yeah. So if you lose two, and then you have a little bit of bleeding on this third pregnancy, I guess it'd be a fourth because we already had a son. My bad.
Yeah.
Um,
He didn't forget you, Mason.
yeah, I never forget him. He's always up my butt. 12-year-olds are 12-year-olds. Turns out 12-year-old boys turn into like the most annoying version of their father, and then you as the dad turn into your dad, and it's a vicious cycle.
So
You know?
what you're saying is I got 4 more years.
Yeah, dude, you're cooked. Just wait. Just wait till he says something to you that is exactly what you would have said, and it's like you kind of just spaz out, and you're like, "Go to your room. Go to your room right now." You know?
The biggest thing I have with my son is he's so much smarter than me.
Yeah, that's also annoying. If
I'll like tell him something,
yeah,
and
yeah,
he will do word for word exactly what I said, but it's
yeah,
not what I meant.
yeah, to be annoying. Yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah,
even think he does it to be annoying. I think,
yeah.
honestly, and I've told Jackie this, I think my son might be autistic, like me.
Who knows? It is genetic. There is some gene.
And
I guess it's not.
and so he thinks he's doing the right thing, but I'm like, motherfucker, no, like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, there's like no critical thinking. It's just verbatim, and it's like
yeah,
that's also not what I want. You know?
yeah, like I can't even get mad at you because you're doing exactly what I said,
Right.
but
No. Uh. So anyway, so we had the two.
Mhm.
We go to the where we're going, and I can't remember the clinic or hospital. We end up going to OU because they have a
Mhm.
high risk for women. They have,
Oh, I guess there's something good for OU.
yeah, they're incredibly gifted or blessed
I don't know
medic.
if I would say that.
No,
They're in Oklahoma.
they have a medical school and a law school that are pretty prestigious as far
Yeah,
as
but
state.
they're in Oklahoma, so I don't know if I'd call them gifted and blessed.
Well, I mean, you know, there was a lesbian nurse there that was actively hitting on my wife
See what I
while I
mean?
while I was standing there,
See what I
and
mean?
I was just like, "Whew, do you guys just want to kiss or something?" You know. But anyway,
Lick her clit
so
already, God.
and this is like a big reason why I don't think men should be OBs or vagina doctors of any kind.
Yeah.
You know, he came in there and My wife's like, hey, bleeding, concern, the whole works. He came in, did the ultrasound for all of 10 seconds, right? Yeah. And was like, nope, can't find the baby. Another miscarriage. Prescribed the pills and walked out. And I was
Yeah.
like, and like no bedside manner. And I'm
Yeah.
just there with my wife with a third miscarriage. What I thought. We drive home, 45 minutes. Carissa's crying the whole way, obviously, apologizing to me. And it's like, that's the
What the fuck did
worst.
she do? Like, I
She,
get it. I get
yeah,
it, but
no, yeah, yeah, because she felt like a failure because she didn't give me a baby, and
yeah,
that's not the case. That's not the case at all. But she's a good wife, and she
I've
cared
met
more about me than she did herself.
yeah, I've met Carissa one time, and it was just when y'all. I think it was when you left Warner.
Yeah,
Uh, she was in the car with you, and I ran into you as y'all were leaving.
yeah, yeah,
And I think I said like two words to her.
yeah.
But from what you tell me, she is the perfect wife. You are a lucky fucking man.
I'm so lucky, and I don't deserve it. That's the
Fuck no,
crazy
you
part.
don't. Fuck you, asshole.
Yeah, she's a 10. A 10.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. You hit the jackpot with that. No wonder
yeah.
your luck's so bad
I,
lately. You
I
spent all
prayed.
your fucking good luck on her.
Yep. And good enough for me. I'll
Yeah,
make it. As the words of my father, Greg Dethridge, would say, I'd rather be lucky than good any day. You know?
yeah, yeah. Ain't that the fucking truth? Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Yeah. So we get home, and all night she's just like, I don't think that's right. And like, we had the pills, you know? We picked
Yeah.
them up on the way home. It's just in case. So she doesn't go septic and make sure everything does its thing. And she's like, Derek, take me to the city. Take me to OU ER right now. And I was like, what? She's like, I don't know. I'm telling you right now, there's nothing wrong with this baby. Okay?
Uh,
And like, I didn't care, but it's like, it's the middle of the night. It's been a long day, but okay, I trust you. Right? Get to the ER, and they were actually super quick. Got us straight into a ultrasound, and that girl found my daughter, the heartbeat, within gotta be another 10 seconds. And she's like, I don't know what y'all are talking about. Your baby's fine. Your baby's fine. Here it is. And that was the first heartbeat we heard.
mhm.
Three pregnancies together. I have my oldest son, but I adopted him. I wasn't there for that.
Right.
But
We can get into that some other time.
okay, I don't mind. He's my son. I don't care. He
Yeah.
has my last name, and he keeps fucking acting like me, and it's super annoying. He won't stop. He won't stop.
Yeah, but
You
at the
know.
same time, again, from everything you've told me, because I met him once, you know, he does seem like a good kid at the end of the day.
He is a solid human being. He is a pretty
You're
solid.
doing a good job with him.
Well, as far as that goes, I think that's his mom. Him becoming a man,
Yeah.
dude, it's so hard to make a good man. Uh, but it's a learning curve, and it's not an easy process. And I'm not considering myself a good man, but to make one is a lot of work. But
Yeah.
but no, so Carissa's good. Then we went back home and everything was fine. And I had my daughter, and I love her. She's the bee's knees. She does this new thing, dude. Right?
Hmm.
I'm trying to teach her this. I say I love you,
Yeah.
and if she's in a good mood, she'll try and do it back. Because she's two. She can kind of do it now, but she's always been like, or she's stubborn like her mother, and she'll be like, no, and walk away. Right?
My son does that shit, and it pisses
Yeah.
me off. So
So
like,
what?
he'll be feeling feisty, and I'll be like, "Hey, buddy, you know I love you, right? I don't love you,
Okay.
you
That
son of a bitch, motherfucker."
hurt. Yeah. No, but what she does now is she'll say I love you, and I used to say, well, I do, and there's nothing you can do about it. You
Yeah,
know, but now I'll say I love you, and she'll say no, and I'll say yes I do, right? Well, what she's done now is I'll say, hey, I love you, and she'll go, yes you do, and walk off, and I'm like, you fuck.
is Carissa still there?
She's outside.
Oh,
Yeah.
you can go ahead and tell her I said just stop the tests. Ellie's yours. All right.
Yeah. No, dude, she's 100% mine. Yeah. Nah, fuck it. This is the first episode, man. You seen Joe Rogan's first episode?
No, no.
It's not
Rough.
as easy not as easy to watch as his current ones, but you gotta start somewhere.
Well, I mean, we need to have like guests on every now and then, and that'll make it easier if one of us has to stand up and walk off for a minute.
Yeah, and we'll get there, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm having such a great time doing this.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm gonna stop it at about an hour, and
Cool.
then we'll pick up, and that'll be episode 1 and then episode 2.
Make sure you send it to me because when I go tomorrow, I want to listen to it and see how it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably sit up. I don't think I'll get it uploaded tonight, but I'll probably sit up and edit and post it and stuff like that. I'll as soon as I get it posted, I'll send you the link though.
I am a make sure the world knows that I am not a guest. I
No,
am
no,
also
you're a host.
I'm number 2, baby. Yeah.
You
This
are
is a
50% of this operation.
yeah, at least. I'll give you 51% if you want. If you really want to be a
Uh,
dick about it.
I don't care. I don't care. But no, the next episode I'll get into the big topic that I have because it's going to be in depth, and we're going to have to pull up like videos and stuff like that because this is going to be wild.
Look at my cat, dude. He's biting my forearm right now. He
And you
wants
got
to
some black pussy up in there?
He's actually gray. I like a more distinguished
Ashy. Ashy pussy. Get that bitch some lotion.
yeah. Hakua.
Fuck you, cocksucker. Us
Yeah.
men, we don't like the Huck Tua. We like the Pac-Man.
Wah, wah, wah.
Waka 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 waka. Yeah.
Yeah. No, hell yeah. This is great, man. I'm having a good time. We should maybe do this weekly.
Well, I was thinking if we get like 2 or 3 episodes in every time we get on,
Yeah.
then okay, like say we get 2 in tonight, okay, cool.
Okay.
Next week off.
I am super annoyed that we lost about 20 minutes of the initial.
Yeah, dude, don't. I had dropped that, and you had to bring it up.
Yeah, I did
Hey,
too.
Carissa.
She was waving at me through that. She's outside, dude.
Oh.
Yeah,
I saw
she's
you
like,
reacted to her. I thought she was right there. I was going to tell her to stop those tests.
no, she doesn't drink that often, but when she does, it's because she's like, hey, I'm going through some stuff.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go chain smoke some cigarettes and drink some whiskey. And I
dude,
was like,
that's what
cool.
I'm craving a black and mild so fucking bad right now, dude. You have
Oh,
no
that
idea.
does sound. Do you like wine? I like
Yeah.
wine.
Your fucking ass got me on the wine.
Yeah,
I always did the wood tip original, and you told me about the wine that one day, and I was like, you know what? Let me fucking try it. That's all I want now.
yeah. They're great, especially when you're drinking. Especially anytime. I will always accept a black and mild, man. That's some good shit. That's some great A.
There's certain things I'm not going to get into on this podcast, just because it goes out to the world, and I don't know who's going to watch it. But 90% of the stuff I'll get into on here.
What are your things you want to talk about so I don't bring them up casually?
Uh, hang on. I'm not going to say
Wiener
them on the
size?
podcast, asshole.
Oh, wiener size.
No,
Do you like your butthole hairy or trimmed or what's up? You gonna
I'm
text me?
I'm texting it to you. Yeah,
Dude, when you're like your camera keeps moving,
yeah, yeah.
and earlier you went to take a big old swig and it fucking zoomed in
I
like a
saw that.
Budweiser
I
commercial.
saw that. It's not
I don't know if we
Budweiser,
can
dude.
say brand names or not. Are
It's
we
not
gonna get
Budweiser.
sued? Shutterbach.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Don't say the name though. Don't say the name. We're not saying names unless they sponsor us. Fuck them.
Yeah, we're not sponsored by anybody. We are nobody.
Yeah,
We're just two dudes who like talking shit and love the
and,
Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
and like drinking beer.
I haven't had any. I like whiskey. I've been really into.
I like whiskey, but if I'm gonna drink whiskey, it has to be the first thing I drink because I will fucking vomit.
Well, you know the old saying, whiskey before beer, you're in the clear. Beer before liquor,
Yeah,
never steer.
I'll finish that text to you now.
Man, okay.
Again, because there's people we don't want to know about that shit.
Yeah. I'll tell you what,
So,
I'll probably never bring that up because I forget about it a lot of the time.
but every
Like,
time you remember it, you laugh, don't you?
yeah, yesterday when you called me and you said, hey, A, B, and C happened, I was like, I forgot that was even a thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember you asking, "Are y'all still doing that?
Yeah.
Is that still
I
happening?"
forgot you two still talk to each other.
Yeah,
But you know what, man? I know we're gonna wrap it up relatively soon, but I
yeah,
might
here in a
get
little while.
I might get me a little necklace too. Did you pray on it or
No,
bless it
I
in any
didn't do
sort
shit. I didn't do
of
shit.
intent, huh?
Yeah, I literally bought it, and it wasn't even the intent of like protection or anything.
Yeah.
I wanted because I used to wear a chain all the time,
Yeah.
and I wanted another chain, and so I
Yeah.
was like, "All right." I was in Walmart one day and I saw them, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Okay, that's a nice looking chain. I mean, here, like,
Okay.
it's a nice looking chain, right?" So I was like, you know what? Let me pick one up, and I didn't know how I would feel about this because it's got pretty sharp edges. So I was like, if I end up not liking that cross, I can always take the cross off and replace it with another one or whatever.
Yeah.
So so I just bought it, and I that happened to me. I have not taken this off since at all. Period. End of discussion.
Okay. I'm not, maybe if I wear it like you outside the shirt, but I remember when I was in the army, the
Well, I
doc,
typically wear it outside of my t-shirt, and then I put my work shirt over that,
okay.
so
I
that
just
when
don't
I'm
like
like,
my chest hair getting pulled out.
yeah, well, that way when I'm like bending over,
Yeah,
the
you do.
work shirt still holds it.
Yeah, you like bending over, don't you?
Oh, every chance I get, Daddy.
I'm just a dude trying to get a raise, man. I'll do whatever.
Fuck yeah. Why do you
When
think my
I'm,
knees are so bad?
yeah. Yeah. I remember when I was in Hawaii, I had a tank top that said, I'm not gay, but 20 bucks is 20 bucks. And it
Yeah,
did, everybody loved it. Everybody, no one had a problem with it.
yeah,
I don't think anyone's that, I don't think there's any real problems. I think we're all making them up.
we are.
Like, I don't think right wing Christians really, there's some obviously in every group, but I'm a right wing. I think I'm going to be Christian. I think I'm going to get baptized soon and do the
Do it.
full fledged fucking, okay, I swear, but I don't hate anybody. And
Yeah.
I don't think gay people really get bothered. I think cities are the problem. Too
So,
many
okay.
people in one spot. It's like you
So
guys need to stretch out.
here's a story for you. My dad, shortly after he became a pastor, okay,
Yeah.
it was hey, we're doing things biblically. This family is going to live by the Bible, yada, yada. All right,
Cool.
cool. All for it. 100%, you know?
Yeah.
My stepsister on that side, okay? Because I have 4 stepsisters and no stepbrothers. All right? I'm
And
fucking my number.
one real sister or
Yeah,
blood
one real
sister?
sister.
Are y'all half or full?
Full. Full.
Okay. So
Um,
she's
yeah, she's fucking crazy. We can get into that on another episode. Um,
I've heard.
but so my youngest stepsister on that side, okay?
Yeah.
My stepmom's youngest. She went lesbian. After being with this dude forever, I don't know what happened between them. I just know one day he just randomly stopped coming to family functions. And then a couple weeks later, she started bringing this girl around. And next thing I knew, they were married and going through surrogates to have a kid.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Who
Now,
surrogate? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Not my pig, not my farm.
Not
But
my monkey, my circus.
I will say that stepsister, wonderful person, you know.
Most lesbians are.
But she is very earthly. Okay.
Like spirituality and all that stuff?
I
Or
wouldn't go that far. I think I've never talked religion with her, but I think she's agnostic. At the very
okay.
least. Maybe full blown atheist.
I don't agree with atheism. I think
I think
you think you're
atheism is the most
then
stupid religion you can, or the most stupid outlook you can follow. You really think
it's
there's nothing?
just arrogant.
Yeah.
It's like,
So,
man,
so she went full blown lesbian. All right. My dad banned her from coming to Thanksgiving and Christmas outright. She
okay.
is not welcome in this house. And so my stepmom was going through it with that. Okay. Which I get it. That's her daughter. You know, she
Yeah.
doesn't, she's in between a rock and a hard place. On one hand, it's her daughter. On the other hand, it's her husband. You know,
Yeah.
you side with one, you push the other one away. You know,
Right. Right.
so me and my dad were sitting there watching Cowboys game one time. They were probably losing, but we're sitting there talking about it, and he flat out is like, I don't even want her in this house. I said, why? He goes, because what she's doing is a sin. I said, you're right. It is a sin. If you read the Bible, it is a fucking sin. That being said, what does Jesus tell us to do with sinners?
Love them.
Correct. Do you really think that pushing her out of the family is showing her love?
Most def-
Why does Jesus tell us to love everybody?
Good.
Think about it for a second. Why would God want us to love even sinners?
Well, I mean, I don't have to think about it for a minute. I think it's to love Christ is to become Christ-like, and he hung out with whores and lepers.
Correct.
Yeah.
But going a little bit deeper than that, it's to show them God's love. You know,
Okay.
let
That's
them
what I was
experience
getting at.
God's love
Yeah.
firsthand, and that'll lead them to God. You know.
Mhm.
Um. So I told my dad that I'm like, look, yes, what she's doing is a sin, but we are sent to love even sinners. You know.
Plus, side note, we all sin, and no
Correct.
sin is greater than any other sin because they're all
Correct.
sin.
Correct. Well, there is one unforgivable sin.
Blasphemy.
Correct. And that's something that terrifies me because I learned that, and then I started thinking, wait, did I ever unconsciously blaspheme God? Like not knowing I did it.
Well, and then that's probably a whole podcast of its own,
Yeah.
or a whole episode of its own, is what does that actually mean?
That's the only thing that terrifies me about dying is because I know I've been born again and everything, and
I've
I
probably
have,
for sure done it.
I ask God quite frequently to forgive me
Yeah.
of what I do. And I repent quite frequently, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But the one unforgivable sin, blasphemy. What if at some point I cracked a joke or something and that's in God's eyes blasphemy? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to, but what if that's what keeps me out of heaven, you know? And it's unforgivable. Like, I can't even ask God to forgive me of that, you know?
Well, okay. I can tell you my thoughts on that
Okay,
after.
go ahead and then I'll get back to my story.
No, no. Finish your story.
So I told my dad, like, do you really think pushing her out and prohibiting her from coming around the family and everything is showing her God's love?
Yeah.
Think about it this way. If you were her and you had a pastor telling you, hey, you're not allowed around me or my family, which means you're not allowed to see your mother
Yeah.
anymore, would that
Which,
make you more willing to go to church and worship God or less willing?
well, and also you're preventing her and for following one of the Ten Commandments, which is honor thy mother and father.
Correct.
You're keeping her away from her father or mother. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can't tell you for 100% certainty that my talk with my dad that day is what did it.
Yeah.
What I will tell you is a month later was Thanksgiving and she was there with her now wife.
I talked to your dad once for maybe 5 minutes, and
He's a good dude.
I got a great feeling off him. I
Yeah,
don't think he's a stupid man. I think he's
he's
very
not.
open. I think he's very open.
My dad is a very intelligent man.
I think
Very
he's
intelligent.
open. I don't think
But
he. And again, I only talked for about 5 minutes, but I get feelings off people.
the thing I'll say about my dad, he's very intelligent and
Plus, he
he
has a
knows
cool name.
fuck you. But he gets an idea in his head and
Yeah,
he is dead set on that way until he is proven wrong. You know what I mean?
but he's open to being wrong.
Correct, correct.
That's a
If
very important quality.
you have to come to him with a strong case to prove him wrong and
Yeah,
get him to change his ways. But he is willing to hear you out. You know?
right, right.
My dad's a good dude. And like I told you over the phone that day, if you'd have talked to him 10 years ago, totally
Yeah,
different. Totally different dude. He'd have picked up the phone and been like, hey, you calling for pussy or for alcohol?
yeah,
Like, totally different dude 10 years ago. For the better.
right.
But my dad used to have a lot of anger problems. Now, I can't tell you the last time I heard him even raise his voice.
I wish I had that. I struggle with that.
My dad used to be a very angry man. Like to the point where I was scared to death of him on normal occasions just to be sitting next to him.
Yeah. Well, I've heard that PTSD is a hell of a drug. So,
Well,
wait, you know,
I'm not saying my dad doesn't have that. What I will say is my dad was never in combat.
okay. Well,
So,
I remember I talked to this shrink, and
it's possible he has PTSD, but
there's possible everyone has it. It all
yeah,
depends on you. There's people who fall off the couch and get levels of it. That's
yeah,
what the shrink told me. And I remember I had this master sergeant, and he was like, you should never, and he had been, I think he had like 9 deployments, 5 combat deployments, you know.
yeah,
I love this man. His name
yeah.
is Master Sergeant uh, Ringelbauer. One of the greatest humans and phenomenal leaders. That's 5 podcasts talking about how great this man is.
Did you ever meet the Marine safety guy with Warner?
I remember there was a safety guy that was pretty gung ho.
He was when I first met him, he was in Fontana, California. Okay, when I
Okay.
first tested out and got my first truck, that's where he was. He was the one that did the test. I ran into him again in West Memphis, Arkansas. Okay.
Right. That terminal is great. That area sucks.
Yeah.
I have a
So,
funny story about me running from the cops on that one on accident.
oh,
I didn't
okay.
mean to. I didn't know I was doing it. You
We'll
know?
leave that as a cliffhanger. All right, for
Okay.
the next episode, we'll open the
Okay.
next episode up with that. But
Okay.
I woke up one morning in West Memphis, and I had a student with me,
Yeah.
and I got up and checked the tablet, and there was a message on it from safety. That's all it said was from safety, and it said, "If you're still at the West Memphis terminal, come in the safety office as soon as you get this."
Okay.
The fuck did I do? You know, like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
didn't sign it, didn't say who it was from, nothing. I walk
Yeah.
in there and the dude's just sitting there like, "The fuck's up, bro? I saw you were here at the terminal, wanted to say hi."
Oh, that's cool.
But no, he was the short black dude. All right. I say short, he was probably 5'5", 5'4", somewhere
Yeah.
around there. Okay.
Yeah.
Short for us, all right.
Okay.
And he walked around. I never saw him without this giant ass fucking cigar in his mouth. And I
Okay.
mean, as far as posture and the way he walked and everything, picture your stereotypical Marine. That's fucking
Yeah.
him. That's him.
I have a love-hate with Marines. I love how much they love the Marines. I hate how sometimes they're not that great. I deployed with some,
Yeah,
and I was just like,
that's who we need to get on. I have another former student, Bradley.
yeah,
He's a Marine.
yeah.
Need to get him on and talk with him.
I have some people we could probably talk about. It depends on
Yeah,
which direction we want to go. I
I'm gonna
guess we
text him.
go ahead.
Keep
Dick
talking.
pic.
I'm gonna text him.
What the fuck were we talking? I think I should put my drink down because I have no idea what we're talking about.
We were talking about this master sergeant of yours.
Oh, yeah, yeah. He was saying because he had like an indention in his face because he got blown up and his face slammed into a striker. They're like more mobile. I don't know how to explain them. More mobile tank type things. They're not really tanks. I'm too drunk to taste this chicken, but he was just saying like he's like it just depends on where your that type of mental toughness is. Like you can he's like I had to go through a lot to get my PTSD, and some guys didn't have to go through as much. And that, and it's not that they're weak, because I don't think anyone, if you sign up for the military, I think you're a fucking hero.
Right.
If you,
Right.
even if, even
I
if your
agree.
sole, even if your sole purpose is just free college, you still did it, man.
I agree completely. You sacrificed part of your life to go and serve this country, and I am
Yeah,
eternally grateful to those that did.
yeah. I know there's a lot of crooked cops. There's a lot of good cops too, who
There's even
just,
more good cops. Yes.
there's shitty firemen. There's a lot of good firemen.
Yep.
There's bad doctors. There's a lot of good doctors. You know, I don't think anything's black and white. I remember my whole life I was black and white, and then, you just go through life and you're like, no, there's so many other colors. There's so many reasons for why people do things, and I think that kind of helps me understand Christ even more when he says, "Love thy neighbor."
Yeah. That's one thing about Bradley. If we ever got him on, he's
Yeah,
atheist. So,
I'm gonna call him an idiot because I think that,
and I've tried to have the conversation with him. His whole thing is he's open to it,
yeah,
but he doesn't take somebody's word for it. Like if you come to him and say, "Hey, I believe in God because I saw this,"
yeah,
he's not going to take your word for it. He has to see it,
yeah.
you know, which I get. I respect that,
Yeah. I actually
It's the
think,
atheists that are like, no, it doesn't exist, period, that I don't respect.
yeah, but they believe in the miracle of Big Bang. Got
Yeah.
it.
No, he's open to it. He just,
Yeah.
at this moment, doesn't believe in a higher power because he's never seen it.
Right. Anyway, we're at an hour and 10 minutes, man. Do you think we should call it?
Yeah, let's call it, and we'll do an episode 2.
Cool. Send me this
Yeah,
sometime.
we'll do. We'll do.
All right, man.
All
Peace
right.
out, dude.
Yep.